2, 1. Okay, guys, we practiced this, so you guys should have some really high expectations for this video. Okay, I am Rich Trippin.
I'm Tiffany.
And if you do not know us, we love exploring the UK. We love learning about the UK because that is our history. That is where we came from. That is what helped birth this country. But we want to go further back than that today. I'm sure if you've seen by the titles, we are going to Bath. And not just the city, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yes, we're going to the Roman baths.
And those people was extremely immature.
Petty.
It was kind of petty. These Romans was petty. If you don't believe us, watch the video. Oh yeah, thank you to our Patreons and our members. We're gonna put out a different video of this because we had a lot of footage.
Yes.
So we're gonna put it on an extended cut, show some behind the scenes because something happened in this that was really crazy, but it was kind of personal. We don't know if you're new here, you probably won't care, but our Patreons definitely will, and our members. So there's gonna be 2 types of videos, one that's longer, one that's shorter. This is all the juice of the video that you get to watch. Let's start in Paddington. Hey guys, we are at Bath Spa, and we are not about to get pampered.
Nope.
We are here with Mank. Mank has decided to drive down and help us Americans learn something. He signed up for a lot, guys. So hit the like button in support of your fellow countrymen. Are you excited to be here, Mank?
I'm very excited. I think I've got my work cut out for me trying to teach you anything. But,
You definitely
100%.
do.
I like a challenge.
So where are we at right now?
We are at the Roman baths in the very centre of Bath. I'm no historian, you'll find better people than me as a travel guide, but one thing I can tell you is that what we've already seen is Latin carved into the stones. The reason for that is that Latin was the first written language to come to England.
Wow.
And a written language as opposed to just a spoken one is a revolution, because out of the back of that you start to get dates, and once you get dates you get a structure to the year, and there's lots of information sharing and things that comes out of being able to write things down. So that was a major pivotal point for the sort of civilization of England. And then of course we got the whole concept of baths and bathing and the health associated with that.
So I learned a new thing. I did not know Roman was the first, or Latin was the first language, written language.
Nope.
In England.
So guys, he's doing a good job. Let's see where this day takes us. This is what I love about the UK, right? So we got a ancient Roman bath behind us. And then we got Marvin, is it Marvin Gaye sings What's Going On?
I think.
This man's out here killing it, singing What's Going on this side. That's UK, baby. That's what I like. Where history met soul, I like it. This is really neat. So apparently there was houses built over top of this, and they had to buy the houses in order to excavate this bath. How common is it in the UK do people just have a home or something like that and they just excavate something underneath that's just of historical significance? But sometimes you say home, like any type of construction, is that common here?
I don't know the answer to that really. I know people find things in the back garden like old Roman objects and coins and things like that. Sometimes we find an unexploded bomb from the Second World War, which is a lively event. Yeah.
No, this isn't the first time. I remember they was building a car park and they found, what was it, King Richard?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like this is a repeating thing for,
That
outside
happens a lot. Commercial constructions, that are cemeteries and grave, like old burial grounds, especially for paupers, things like that, that nobody knew was there, and they tried to build something. They have to sort of reinter the remains. That happens a hell of a lot in city centres.
That's really amazing. A long time.
Yeah. Well, metal detecting, perhaps not so much right now, but it's always been a bit of a hobby in the UK. You'll get people who just go around with quite powerful metal detectors in the countryside and different places where they think there might be something there, and they'll dig it up, and it might be a tin can, or it might be some Roman coins or some.
You win, Hank. When we come back, we're providing metal detector and metal detector. This is that quintessential British history that I love. Okay, because it's like, what's the history on this? And they're like, what part? Are you talking
Because
about
it's history built on history, built on history.
built on history, built on history. So are you talking about the actual springs that the Celts thought that a female goddess lived in, that part of the history? Or are you talking about when the Romans came here and built the baths? Or are you talking about when the Victorians came in and seen that there was houses and built it up and rebuilt it to what you see right here today? All of this? What history of this would you like to know? That is so fun. I love that so much. So right here inside, this is the actual source. This is the source of the spring. So you can see the little bubbles coming up. So it's flowing out of here, flowing there, and then flowing out to the river. Okay, this is mind blowing. Okay, this ain't the petty thing. Okay, but this shows you kind of how, like, I think it's interesting how they integrate, like how they would integrate with the Celts, right? So the Celts had this spring and it was a holy site for years, right? And they believed that little bubbling thing was a goddess named Sulis, right? That was Sulis down there. And then the Romans showed up and they was like, no, I think that's the goddess Minerva, the Roman goddess Minerva. That's who that is. But they didn't do that. And they didn't show up and they're like, everything you believe was a lie. It kind of got this whole Creole type. So pre-Romans, it was Sulis. And then once the Romans invaded, then all of a sudden you had a goddess that was a hybrid of both.
Yeah. I like how they both like took it as like the god of health.
Yeah.
And combined it together, like, so that it wasn't like, oh, this is the god of good fortunes or whatever.
Yeah, it was
like, it made sense.
And when you're walking, like when your initial walk, I think this idea is like, and you're gonna see later on in the video, that it just seems like, okay, I didn't really expect ancient people to be this into themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you look at that idea of how they do that and you're like, okay, this is a practice of combining things for years or for centuries, millennia, however you want to say it, because you look at something like how they combine these and then you look at modern idea of holidays, that how, okay, we still celebrate these certain holidays, but we still have the pagan aspects to these holidays because, and it was the same thing with the Catholic Church. It was still Rome that went into these areas and they're like, okay, you can have these holidays, you can continue to do X, Y, Z, but now we're going to do it in honor of God.
Yeah. Change the name and
change the name, change it.
Some of them don't even change the name.
No, Easter is still Esther. So you're in it. I guess it's so weird to see that visually in practice, that we have these big things, but then you see something more that's like, okay, this is a goddess. It's like preference to this area.
Yeah.
So you see that happen, that this was also happening on a micro level. And that's amazing. Like, that's so cool. But keep watching the video. This is genuinely what blows my mind about this country. Is you're just walking in the Roman bath and they're like, yeah, you know the Roman bath are. This is what they used to do. This is how they used to do. This is what it used to look like. You know, okay. Here's one of them. There's one of them. Here's their coffin. So you don't just see the Roman baths. You get to see. Well, he wasn't Roman, but he was one of the people that was in the Roman baths, hanging out, and he was of some type of importance because it's kind of insane with the stuff
so
that they did.
cool.
Here's one of the references too that we found.
This is what he looked like.
Yeah, I want us to reconstruct his face. So this man was walking around here. That's insane.
The way in which the locals communicated with this new merged god was to write down their prayers, or in some cases requests and curses, and they'd toss that into the bubbling water because they believed that the bubbles were the god breathing under the water. They believed the god was physically down there somewhere. And a lot of these prayers or curses, you might call them, are complaints about theft and people wronging people. So we're effectively asking for revenge on people rather than simply praising them. It's not here, but I've seen a particularly vivid one about somebody's silver ring that was stolen. And they went into great detail about how they wanted this person to be disemboweled and have all sorts of obscenities done to their body because of this stolen silver ring. And then they wrote it on the pewter and tossed it to the god, hoping that that's what would happen.
So this is for the Roman god, though, right?
Well, it was a merged god. So you have the local god Minerva, who was worshipped here before the Romans arrived, because the spring was already there bubbling away, and they believed that Minerva was under their breathing. But when the Romans came along, they had their own god of health that they believed in. So you've got these two groups of people in the same physical location, believing in a different god. So what do? Do you eliminate one god and say you've all got to follow this one or that one? And they were quite pragmatic, and they merged the two gods together. So it says, is it Sulis Minerva or the other way around? And that sort of created this joint god that everybody was worshipping.
So it's almost like we would consider like voodoo in our country is very similar to that, because when the slaves came over, they was forced to be Catholic, and they found out that a lot of the saints had very similar traits to the voodoo gods of Africa.
Yeah.
So if you come to, like, let's say you come to America and Louisiana, you'll see that there's a lot of Catholicism amongst some places that doesn't look like they're really Catholic. And you know that's voodoo because they've kind of formulated between the Catholic belief and the voodoo, the African religion, to form its own belief. So it's not quite the full African belief, and it's not a Catholicism either. But you still see Mary, you still see the cross, but it's almost like it's a complete different ideology in general.
Yeah, and there's the parallel here, because the two gods that they decided to merge together, or should I say the Roman god that they chose to merge with the one that was already here, were both gods of health. They found the two most sort of similar gods that they could to merge them together. So there's parallel.
This is the one I wrote. It's about theft of a blanket. And it says the unusual spelling maybe because the writer had dyslexia.
Well, there were some interesting...
That's me.
That's Tiffany. She's mad at somebody so mad she couldn't spell it right. Just get rid of them.
Some of the, I've not seen them on here, but they had some interesting quirks with some of them. Like some of them were sort of written backwards, which makes them very difficult to read in modern times, and the thought is that people who left these prayers and curses, messages to the gods, had written them backwards to try to make them private, so that it was something between them and the gods. So, now we think about sort of praying privately in our heads and so on. But back then, that privacy, because they were writing it down, came from trying to sort of do it in code, and then of course they're made out of lead and sink to the bottom of the water, and we hope it will remain that way.
So I found these messages, curses, prayers, whatever you want to call them, like super interesting. Like they're talking on camera, and I'm over there fully.
Yeah, Tiffany's off camera reading all the gossip of the ancient world.
Yes,
That's
so
what Tiffany was doing.
Some of them were like really petty though.
Yeah.
Some of them like were like legit things, but a lot of them were just like really like, okay, so someone stole your blanket, now you want them to die. Like that's okay.
I think it's amazing because it's like nothing is new under the sun.
No.
This is literally just people being petty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have this goddess, and I'm sure there's some tins down there that they pulled up that was probably legit. Like the crime that they're accusing this person, there's a chance that might have been what they deserved. But the majority of it was Bath was not an ancient city. It was a high school.
Yeah.
And you know what? It goes to show you that people back then was very similar thinking to the people right now. Literally, that Bath was the internet.
Yeah.
That Bath, that boiling pool was the internet. Those tins are the comment section.
That's why
I said it.
That's why I had so much fun reading them, because it was no different than going on any kind of thing on the internet. YouTube comments, Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
The reason I love it so much is because we went there and seen the earliest form of Reddit.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We went there and seen the earliest form of Reddit. And that's amazing to me. To whom it may concern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are making mountains out of molehills and they want to see some action. Do you think, like, what's in ancient Rome? Alexandria or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably Greek, but whatever. Do you think they was like chiseling out their little thing and like the woman was like walking it to the pool and hear who's sitting right next to the pool? And she's like, oh, hey, Bertha. Hey, girl. It's like rip out her eyes.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet later.
Yeah. They were all sisters. Like, oh, she stole my scarf. That's it. Oh, she stole my blanket.
100%.
That's it.
100% there was some sibling
She took
stuff.
my
in
earrings. Like
100% there was sibling stuff. I enjoyed that way too much. I enjoyed that way more than because you don't get that side of history here.
No.
You don't get that side of history here. So we just talked to a time traveler who was here during the original baths. We didn't show her on film because that's something you get when you come here, and we don't like to put people, no matter what time period they're from, on film, unless they want to be. But she was talking about how this side is the women's side for preparation, and that's the men's side of preparation for the bath. And they'd come in here and shower, and we talked about decency during that time and how it would act. And then different times called for different types of who would be naked in front of who or how they would, and Romans and the Celtics and all that, and the Celtics. I'm gonna get a dog for that. But it's very, very interesting. So we're gonna go in here and check out the women's side, then the men's side. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So even the shame and nudity would be almost a British thing.
Absolutely. Relatively recent invention.
So apparently this is the massage room. And right here on the pipes you can smell what oils they used. And apparently lavender was the oils that they used. So this whole room would probably smell like oil.
Yeah,
or like
it
lavender
probably
oil.
smelled amazing.
Yeah. That's really cool.
This side was a later addition, built specifically for women, and they separated the sexes. The other side is where the men entered. Everybody entered the other side originally, but later on this was just the women, and the other side became just the men's side, and that's why the images that we're seeing here are exclusively women, as far as I can see.
Really neat. That's really neat. So that's showing how this works. So all these are just bricks to support the actual floor, into which there was a fire, and the water would flow underneath here, and it would heat the floor underneath it. And that was probably the same thing that we seen in the other room. Why it was so high is all these floors was heated.
Yeah, and that's what they burned the wood right there. That's the type of wood they burn underneath the floor, and that's what it smelled like.
That's exactly what it smells like in Epcot.
Rome falls, and the great library of Alexandria in Egypt is burned.
You guys have been asking for it, wanting it Howard, and now look at me. Finally made it to the gym. But it's a Roman gym. It's kind of been shut down for a while. But we're gonna count this. Guys, look at me together. Because we are here, this does count as a gym day. Okay?
Okay.
We all went to the gym today. Okay?
Absolutely.
We're looking at the spring, and they was telling us that this still uses a modern purpose. So this spring has a cutoff, and this water will go underneath the church, and it still heats the floor similar to what we've seen in the gym to this day. So in the wintertime, on cold days, you walk into this big cathedral church, whatever this is. You can hear the bells ringing in the background now as I'm talking about it. That the floors are warm, probably all over the rest of the country. The floors is cold. Here in Bath, warm floors into the church, thanks to these hot springs. So they still serve a pretty big purpose today besides tourism. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Hey guys, we've seen the water, we've learned about the water, we've done everything but taste the water. Let's go. See what's going on behind me? There's a small orchestra playing. People's having tea and crumpets. Bath is awesome. All right, you're up first, Tiffany.
If we don't make any more videos, it's because this water killed me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm scared. Oh, it's hot. Hold on.
It's a hot spring.
I know, but I just filled it up to my.
See, they said whatever water you don't drink, pour it back into the fountain. So that's going to show you. No, that. Hold on, Mike. That's cheating. You can't have an extra water bottle. You have to. No. We're trying to kill all the E. coli.
I feel like it has a little bit of a scent.
The guy said it kills the E. coli in your body, so that's good to know.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Hank's being shifty back there.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, Hank.
We're gonna get rid of this.
It's very nice. Tastes a bit metallic. Do you think it was a bit metallic?
You ready? Look at the buildup of whatever this is. Look at that. Oh, smells like low tide.
Smell flickamera. So meningitis.
No, apparently this is gonna. Well, either this is gonna kill or give me the meningitis.
It's not a little testing chest.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Where I work in construction, I've drunk a lot of water from water hoses. It just tastes like water from a water hose. Very metallic though. Picture a water hose that you can taste them. You drink water from a water hose that you can really taste the metal in. That's your flavor. I've drunk this water a few times. Okay, so I'm not lying to you. Bath, first amazing city. The actual Roman baths are amazing. I've learned so much. You've learned so much.
Yes.
Mank, what have you learned?
Well, I mean, this is a World Heritage City, the UNESCO World Heritage City. It's the only, what's it, one of two
Yeah.
in the whole world.
Yeah.
And you can see why. I mean, it's spectacular.
Yeah. So that's what Mank learned. Here's what we learned. I enjoyed the Roman baths way too much. I did. You had the pettiness of Reddit. You had the Roman gods, the Celtics, all bundled up. You had hot springs that was still actively helping the city today. Like, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the most amazing places that I've ever been in my life. Like, you gotta think, right? You gotta think that that place was such a look into Roman culture, meeting that Celtic culture, and it was high school. I loved it. I loved it. You was under them undercross, walking on top of them Roman roads. You was there.
Yeah.
I got a question. Why is the Roman roads always so much lower? Like, where is that just coming off like highlands and just kind of like burying?
Yeah. How
over
does that
time?
happen?
Yeah, because they said they had to move houses and stuff. So if that was
Mhm.
deep enough that there was like,
Yeah.
makes you wonder what else is in that.
What else is below that?
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh, what's below that?
and I liked how they had like so many different ways to learn through there.
Yeah.
Like they had the people standing out there,
Yeah.
like dressed
we,
up
and we
and stuff.
didn't we didn't film them because we don't like doing that.
Yeah, I don't want
You
to
know
be
what I
in
mean?
people's faces.
I don't want to put a camera in somebody's face and say, do your bit.
Yeah.
Do your bit. Do it. Do it. I need to make money off this. Do it.
Yeah. Okay. But it was cool that you could learn like that. Then we had those little things that we were listening to.
Yeah.
And then when you walked in different parts, there was these screens like acting it out. And then whatever.
Yeah,
it was just like
a
really cool way to learn.
I understand, like, it's a very high up place, like,
Yeah.
as far as history goes, but how they did it. And I'll be fair with you, when we was walking around it, the fact that you could see kind of the pools from the church square,
Mhm.
and then you walked around this tiny little square,
Mhm.
right? And then you're buying your ticket. It didn't seem like it was going to be that much.
No, it didn't. I didn't know they were going to have like all of that in there. I
Yeah.
thought it was just literally go see the water and move on and chill out.
Yeah. But that's it for the Roman baths. We did spend more time in Bath, and we've done so much more. And if you want to watch that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I am Rich,
And I'm Tiffany.
and that was Bath. Petty Bath. It was a local high school. Okay, go ahead. Go on. All right.